to Macrocode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our employees management system. So as you can see, we have our email address and password. So I'll just sign in. So this is how our dashboard looks like. So on the navigation side menu, we have the HR and payroll, we have the employees, holidays, leave adjustment, leave balances, leave periods. We also have the leave types, the leave applications, approved leave applications, and rejected leave applications. Then you have the system users, system roles, profiles, audit trails. And in administration also, you have the approval entries, the approval workflow user group. We have the approval user matrix, designation, departments. We also have the banks. We have the countries, cities, and also system codes and system code details. Then under settings, we have the company information. So today we are going to proceed with our application. We have been actually enhancing some of the modules here. So as you can see here, we have the employees page. So this actually gives us a list of employees, and you can add a new employee. So you can see employee number, first name. You have the countries, the date of birth, the gender. So these particular information up to actually attaching the employee photo. So if you come to employees list, you'll be able to see the employee number, full name, phone number, email address, leave balance, and the status. You see it is actually giving a status ID and then the action. So let's just update these information. So if you go to our application under areas and views, so we have the employees. Then under index, you can actually update some of these information. So the status details here. If you go to status, you can actually display the name of the status here. So you can actually say this is status. We remove this. Then we have the inactive date. So you can say this is inactive date. Then also we have these as termination dates. So this is termination dates. Then for the bank, we have a bank name. Then these other ones have already been assigned to names. So this one, you can call it disability certificate. Then we have the list of employees. So I think this is okay. So if we come to index, we can now change what we have here to actually display for us so here we can give it the name. So this one you can say here, you can say this is edit. You can call this is edit. You can have this as a view, and you can have this as a delete. So if we update this, so we can just relaunch our app. So if you're new to this channel and you're watching these videos for the first time, consider subscribing, like the video. And in case you need the source code, you can claim the source code using the link down below. So you notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So if you're one of them, please consider subscribing so that you help us reach more of our audience. So you can see this is how our application now looks like. We have the edit, view, and delete. So if I click on edit, it will actually take us to the same update form, and you can actually update our application. So if you go back to the list, click on view, this is how our view looks like. That is the employees details. If we go back, delete, we are able to see also the delete information about our employees. But now I want us to change something. So if you go to edit, you realize that our create and backlist are on the same form. So you should ensure that this is well aligned. So we had done that on some of the modules that you have been doing. So if we go back, for example, and leave let's say departments under edit, realize that we have these well aligned. So we are going to copy this particular form here, and then you can actually reuse it on our employees. So I'll just go here on our employees form. Then this is where our button is. So I'll just have it here. Then I can say this is update employee. update employee. Then instead of doing that, then I can remove this here. Then I can actually update my application. Let me zoom this a bit. So this is my application. So if we update, we'll be able to see our application now. We have the update button appearing on this other end, and we have our backlist there. Let's just see. So we need to rebuild and apply. So I'm going to rebuild that. So we are going to update this application and ensure that all the information that you want to capture is already there. So let's just see. So there we go. So here for the employees, I have my list here. So if I just say edit, I'll be able to see the update employee and the backlist. So we need to remove the create button. So where is it? Here it is. So we need to remove this. So if we update, then we should be able to have you should be able to have our form looking better. So you see, this is how our form now looks like. So can we update an employee? So let's just check. So if we key in some, so bank name here, it doesn't display. So do we have a list of banks? So let's just go back here. Yes, we have the list of banks. So what is the issue there? So here you can see we have the bank. So let's look for the bank ID. So this is the bank ID. So we go to our controller and employees, then check for the edit. So let's remove this binding here. Then we need to provide the bank. So here we have the department ID. We also need to provide the bank ID. So here you'll just call this bank ID. Then this one is banks. So we need to do here context. Then we can say dot banks. So let's ensure we have do we have the name. So this is how, let's just check our model, how the model looks like. So it is actually the name. So there, if we do that, then this should be the, I think this should be department, sorry. Yes, so this should be banks. So then we need to borrow this and have it down here. Whenever there is an error, we should be able to see the bank that was selected. Then you can do employee, then a bank ID. So if we supply that, then we should be good. So if we relaunch this, we should now be able to see the bank information. That is the bank name. And the employee, when registering an employee, you can actually choose the bank they are in. So let's launch that. So if we launch this, if we go here, then say this is banks, the employees I mean. Then if we edit, we should be able to see the banks. Then we have the bank account, international bank account number, SWIFT code, NSSF number, NHIF number. Then that is the email. You can put in the PIN, passport number, the employment terms. So you can see here the employment terms, it's not populating, and also the disability types. So those ones, if you check on our create action, you realize actually they are there. So this is one and this is the other one. So we need to copy this and we need to have it on our edit. So if we go to edit, so where is it? So we can actually navigate from here. Then we can have these ones here. So we have that, but for this case, I'll actually add now the employee, then dot employment terms ID. Then we also need employee, then dot. So let me zoom in a little bit. Then here we say disability type. So this will be disability type. This should be disability type. Disability ID. Then that's okay. So we need to also do the same at the top here. We need to have it here. So here, I think that's okay up to there. So if we relaunch, we should now be able to select the employment terms and the disability ID. So let's just do that. So if we do that, then we should be able to edit now our stuff. So if you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, comment down below, and you can actually share our videos. So if we go back to edit, so we should now be able to choose the bank number. So this is the bank number. We have the SWIFT code, then NHIF number, email address, then the PIN number, passport number, then employment terms, disability type, then you can put in the certificate, then you can attach a photo. So if you do that, then update employee, we should be able to get the employee. So you see you are getting an error here. We haven't actually attached a photo, but there is a challenge. Remember, on edit, it is actually taking us to create instead of edit. So we need to update this. If you go to our edit form, you should actually change these two. Instead of the form doing edit, you should actually do edit. So let's relaunch that. So that should take us to edit and not create. So let's relaunch and see how this looks like. So if you haven't subscribed until this particular point and you're following our series, consider subscribing, like our video, and even comment down below. So if I edit this, then we have, so let's just do this, provide some information here. Then if we go here and do that, then we do that, then we say update. So is it updating? So we need to check. So if we go to our controller under edit, so this is the post. So let's just confirm. Let's put a breakpoint there. So if we click on edit, does hit our breakpoint. Is valid is actually false. So let's just check some of the things that is invalid. So one is the bank, gender, then status, then country. I think those are the only ones. No, then disability, modified by, invalid, that is designation. So those are some of the things. So to do that, we actually need to remove some of those things here. So we need to say model state dot remove. So we need to, you can do this, bank. So you put in all those that has not been validated. It's actually, and we need to use view models. That's why we are getting these particular issues here. So if you go to our employee model, so we need to remove anything that you see, like this one, country. So we have this one here. You can copy these as well and paste down there. Then we can have, so let's have, so we need to go here. So let's just check another one. So we have the country. So we need the department. So if we check the department here, can do that. So let's also remove, let me add multiple. So if we go to the employee as well, so if you go to the employee, so you have the department, then designation. So I'll remove the designation, check again. Then we have the employee. So you have the employee, so I'll remove that here. Then you have the created by and created on. So you can only get that. So let's just check on our model. So where is it? On our employees model. So if we go to employee, and we need to check something, user activity. So we need to remove the application user. And you also need to remove, you need to remove the, so you have the application user, and you also have, not the application user, we should actually remove the, so here should be created by. So here should be created by this one. So we should remove created by, and also we should remove modified by. Modified by, and then let's do here in case there is employee. So if we launch our app now, we should be able to now update our employee. So let's zoom this so that you're able to see. So these are some of the things that we have checked, and we are going to ensure that we continue with this application and provide more content to you guys. So if we go here and check on the employees, then we say edit. So if we edit, we provide this here, provide this. So key in some information here. Then if we click save, should be able to see we have some that are not validated. So one is the gender and the status and disability. I think those are the only ones. So here we have now we should be able to do gender, then disability, then you'll actually be able to do status. You should actually avoid doing this. So this is not the proper way. We should be actually doing, we should be using our view model. So I'll actually do a video on how you can actually eliminate doing this and you work with the view models. So as you can see, we now go there. So our application has launched. So if we go to our employees, then you do edit. Then if we just key in some information here, then we try to edit. So if we say update, there we go. So there's one that is not still valid. Which one is that? So we have the employment terms and cost of inactivity. So let's update that as well. So we'll just go here. You have the employment terms, this one. So I'll copy here. So we can do this here. Then we can have this. Another one. Then we can have, so is it? We can have also reason for termination. So then we can copy that here. Then you can have employment terms. Where is it? So employment terms. Here we have it. Do you have another? I think it should be okay now. So let's relaunch our app and see if we can update our information here. So we need to update that. So we're actually updating the staff information. Then we should be good to go. So our app is launching. So we have it here. So if I go to employees, so then I say edit. So I just go back here. Then we do this. Some keying some information. So if I say update, you see valid is true. So that means our application should be able to update. But there is one thing that we've been doing in tracking the users. You see, for our audit trails, we have been passing the user ID for every save changes that we are doing. So that means we need to get the logged in user, and that is what we have been doing on even when creating a user. And this is what we have been doing. So we need to have this. So if I come back to edit on post, we need to ensure that we are actually modifying. So modified by, we should add the user who is logged in, and modified on is the current date and time. Then you can do that. So let's go back. So if we relaunch again, we should now be able to save our employees' information. And that is now updating the employees' details. So if you're following this series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and even comment down below. So I'll just go back here. Then I'll try to edit. So I'm editing some of the videos here. So I'm editing some of the employees here. So if we click edit, so that takes us to is valid, is true. So if we proceed, you see the logged in user, we have the ID. And if we proceed, it's actually able to modify our details. So what is wrong there? It is telling us cannot install null values into column user ID table in audit logs. Yes. So what has happened? We haven't passed the user ID. So we need to say here user ID is here, and we need to pass it here. So on our audit logs, we haven't allowed null values for user activity. So we need to track who has created what and at what time. So that's why we have all those information required. So I'll just update that. So if we go here, we need to update. So let's try to update for the last time. I'll just do that. Key in this information, and also update. So if you update, you see our information has been updated automatically, and that is what we required. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. If you're following this series and want to see how this application comes along, subscribe and see you in our next episode. Bye.